Hello and welcome to our live coverage of DreamHack Dallas. You are on the B stream. We're going to be kicking things off with Team Liquid against the Thailand team of Lucid Dream. Many of you may not have heard of them too much in the past. I'm Vince and I'm joined by Dust. How's it?
Going pretty good, man. Going pretty good. Obviously, this is one of those kind of lopsided matchups on paper. Liquid being kind of the #2 team in the world against Lucid Dream, who I'm not even sure where they would be ranked, but probably not even in the top 50 if we're being 100% honest. This is just the next team kind of from the Asian region, similar to Tyler years ago, and then after that MVPPK and Boot Dreamscape, they're kind of getting their first shot at international Counter-Strike at a high level. And they have a trial by fire against a really strong Team Liquid team who's really good at this map.
I mean, Liquid, of course, one of the best teams in the world, certainly up there. Some may argue very close to Astralis at the very top. They have kicked things off nicely, though, with Nitro finding PTC caught out in the open of mid. Bomb did get dropped momentarily. Has now been picked up by Liquid, who are looking to try and twist the knife in this weakened Lucid Dream squad now. They do have a couple of flashes with a kit in the hands of CBBK, but Lucid Dream aren't looking to bounce out with too much aggression. They're sitting in position and waiting for Liquid to push.
Yeah, very much a standstill after that opening kill onto PTC. But now Liquid are starting to form up in the B tunnels, including that bomb carrier, which is going to be Nitro. It's just Nap left over towards long A. It is a little bit of a late lurk and backstab, cut off rotations, but the focus will be on B. It's going to be up to W and F. With the USB at the back platform, does find Nitro, but quickly traded.
With that trade, though, it is going to open up the floodgates. Genius is going to land the USB headshot, and there's QQ God. The bomb goes sprawling and twists in a 1-on-3. Liquid eyeing up a very real possibility of going down at a deficit, unless Twist can pull out something truly spectacular. He is a phenomenal player, one of the best that NA has to offer. But can he turn the knife with 15 seconds to go? Multiple counter-terrorists waiting outside, just waiting for the time, really, starving. Twist, he's gonna have to make a move, and as he does, Genius finds him from the side, and Lucid Dream off to a flying start, 1-0.
You know, just a couple of kills coming there for Liquid. Again, just good positioning from W and F on the back of the platform. Got that first kill, bought some time for their team to rotate, and they just caught some nice shots through the door. Almost a team ace, only PTC not involved in that. They'll obviously buy up behind it. Liquid does get the Deagles and a scout on the Stewie 2K. A little bit of tagging going on through the doors here. WNF is going to take a little bit of a hit with that FAMAS as he crosses over, but still gets into B with his teammate CBBK. PTC just still scoping around, maybe a scout duel amongst us here, as Elise does get tagged.
He does indeed, and you can see PTC's also been tagged through the doors, so quite a bit of aggression from both sides, not really yielding anything in terms of kills. But of course, these players now in the range of Desert Eagles. Of course, headshots insta-kill anyway. So still plenty of firepower for Team Liquid, who do force into the round after not having get the bomb planted in the round prior.
Yeah, and they're also going to get a pretty good little attack here on A. The rotation from CBBK is actually towards B, so it's just 2 players towards A right now. A little bit separated, as well as Genius has to focus on long.
Naf going in with the Desert Eagle behind the rest of his team, and he's the player that finds QQ God into a bomb plant. This is now starting to get a little bit uncomfortable for Lucid Dream, who only have 1 kit remaining and 1 smoke. No flashes to re-engage the site on, but Genius with his M4 is going to put the superior firepower to use. He's going to go out by himself, though, peeking before the rest of his team can go in, as a smoke was blocking their vision. Now they're going to be coming out behind it, and they're going to be so one-dimensional with an AUG now trading hands. This is looking so dire for Lucid Dream after taking the pistol round. They're about to be shattered left and right, and there will be no survivors. Team Liquid back with authority.
Yeah, tough pill to swallow if you're Lucid Dream. You're the huge underdog. You win the pistol. You set yourselves up for a good start to the half, and then you lose to Deagles and a scout there. Again, Liquid caught a great timing where CBBK was not really towards spawn to assist in the A defense. And again, Genius had to be worried about long A. Had to respect that that was a threat, so they were unable to pair up together. And so that heavy catwalk presence from Liquid able to overwhelm the site. And now Lucid Dream will tap out. They will not force buyback. No economic game of chicken. They're going to full save, and this means means Liquid should be able to mop this one up quickly. They put a big focus on controlling long A. Genius is going to get flushed out soon by the fire. And the kills are already racking up for Liquid as expected. This should be over and done with in the blink of an eye.
It's certainly looking that way, as you say. No investment into the round, just USPs across the board. And it's not going to get much better in the next round either for Lucid Dream. They're on mid to high 3,000s. So, I mean, realistically, you're looking at a half buy maybe.
Yeah. And we do have a technical pause coming in. So maybe we can use this time to talk about the teams a little bit, because I think a lot of people probably will not be familiar with Lucid Dream from Thailand. I can tell you that PTC, Genius, and QQ God kind of all came onto the scene around the same time. In 2017, it was the Asian minor for PGL Krakow, and they were on kind of opposing teams. I think one was called 7642, if I'm not mistaken, or some numerical name like that. And then the other team was called Signature. Neither team did really well at that event, but at least exposed them to, you know, playing international Counter-Strike, or at least playing against some of the better Asian teams like Tyloo and Flash and things of that nature. And from that point forward, pretty quickly after that, they kind of went their separate ways. PTC, kind of the most notable, played on 5 Power, which is kind of like a multinational Asian team that played at a couple of smaller international events. He's the AWP for the team and probably their best player. CBBK and WNF are kind of more new to playing at this international type of Counter-Strike, so that's something to be noted. And yeah, that was just kind of a little brief history on Lucid Dream. Again, kind of like some of the other smaller Asian teams that have come up with the last couple of years, this is really their first stab at trying to show us something on the big international stage.
Yeah, you do wonder if Liquid have had a huge chance to go through their demos and not really see what these guys have to offer. Yeah, so there may be an unknown element in the mix as well. And the first game of the day, it's always where a lot of teams are a little bit more vulnerable, and Liquid showed that in the pistol. As we anticipated though, no big buy from Lucid Dream on that mid $3,000 mark. Gonna see some Desert Eagles in play, but nothing too spectacular. Should be a clear-cut round for the NA Hope. A lot of people, of course, going to be anticipating that Liquid take this entire event with Astralis not being present. Where'd you come down on that, Dust? Are they your favorites?
What, to win the tournament, Liquid?
Yeah.
They're favorites to make the finals, Vince. Favorites to take second place. I don't really know where you want me to go with that. I mean, that's kind of the meme, isn't it? That's something we could talk about as well with Liquid, is obviously off the back of CS Summit, where they took second to Vitality in the finals. And the finals have been the big problem for Liquid. At first, we thought it was just Astralis, but they lost to FaZe in Miami at the Blast finals, and they just lost to Vitality at the Summit finals. So it's not just an Astralis problem. It seems like a Grand Finals problem. Granted, I think the other element in that is that Liquid usually struggles against teams they have no head-to-head history with. So that was very much the case when they lost to Int in the quarterfinals at the Katowice Major. And very much, again, the problem I think that they have with Vitality. You know, you can scour the demos all you want and research a team, but you don't know what it feels like until you're in the server against them. And so I expect Liquid will do better next time they face Vitality, now that they have that feeling. But it's definitely a combination of a finals issue and, again, struggling against teams they've never played before. And that's something that Lucid Dream can try to hope to do, is kind of shock Liquid a little bit. The problem is that the gulf between them when it comes to experience and skill ceiling is probably too great for Lucid Dream to really implement that advantage.
So here comes the rifles. Nitro keeping with his MP9. And 2 players for that head armor. Could be a bit of an issue, but it's going to be a fast play on the B site where WNF is all alone. He's been dealt with, but does take 2 players down with him, so a valiant attempt. It's gone down to a 2-on-2. It's going to be a post-plant situation as PTC and QQ God can't stop this plant. This is where the lack of kits could start to become an issue. They do have a couple of Molotovs between the 2 of them. And QQ God's going to throw his perfectly onto Nap. This is going to force Nap out into the open, and there's the headshot. Now this is doable for Lucid Dream. We saw them get it done in the pistol round. Another perfectly placed Molotov going to force Liege into an uncomfortable position. And Lucid Dream have done it. The 2v2 clutch goes their way.
Yeah, really good use of those incendiaries on the retake. Retaking B can be very difficult, but they were very efficient with how they placed their nades and how they peeked off of them, forcing Liquid into awkward space and mopping up the kills. And so they get it around early on. Obviously, after the pistol, things got dire pretty quickly, but now they're right back into the mix. Liquid, though, still able to fully buy around this. Another technical pause, unfortunately. Seem to be having a lot of issues with TeamSpeak or something like that. So hopefully they can get that sorted here soon. But now that the guns are fully out, Again, this is a map that Liquid are very strong on. Outside of Overpass, this is probably their best map offline. They've beaten Astralis a couple of times here. Feel very at home on this map. This is a map where, you know, NAF is typically going to play the extremities towards long A, and so sometimes Stewie2Ks will be playing B tunnel. So, you know, this is a map that Elish and Twist are very active. Also a map that it's worth noting that Nitro doesn't really op very much. Like, they like to run 5 rifle setups to let Nitro entry with the AK, or if there is an opper, as you can already see on your screen, Stewie will take it up a lot, actually.
Yeah, which is interesting considering this is typically an Orcus Paradise map, so seeing them mix it up, certainly a curious twist, but hey, it's been working for them. Like you say, Dust2, certainly comfortable ground as far as Liquid are concerned, but Lucid Dream, they have been poking, they have been prodding. This hasn't been the one-sided stop that maybe we were anticipating, and maybe people out there were too. I just want to clarify as well, by the way, WNF, because I called him that earlier, is Wannafly. That is his actual name, so I'm just correcting myself for those of you watching right now.
Indeed, as we do see, again, just default opening from Team Liquid. Nitro, curiously enough, is playing B tunnels. That's normally a position Stewie did play in the past, but since he's opping, obviously he won't be there. Sometimes you might see Elish in the B tunnels as well. So Liquid making some adjustments on their T side, Dust2. It's just kind of something I wanted to point out. You're seeing some, I guess, slight role swapping going on, as we do see that bomb carrying through T-spawn on the back of NAF, so a mid to B split seems to be in the cards, as we do have control of stairs, and this makes it hard for Lucid Dream, because when you lose stairs like this, it could easily be a cat attack, so this A players have to respect that, which leaves mid B vulnerable. That's one of the trickiest things about this map. Twist has dropped down in spawn and gotten a kill. That could really cause a huge problem.
CBBK had a chance with the MP9 to deliver 2 fatal blows, but it could only get the 1. And not for the first time, we're seeing B get taken from Liquid. This time 2-on-3 in their favor. Make it a 3-on-1 as Genius is the last player standing. It doesn't look like he has any intention of clutching this. He's actually posing back, looking for some exit frags. So I could maybe bait them into going for the retake, but he's not interested. He's going to keep onto this AUG and the money in his pocket. But Liquid will at least get a 4-2 lead, and Lucid Dream, they are starting to show a couple of cracks here, Dust, on their B side. I think Liquid may try and make the most of this. Genius, nice headshot onto Nitro. Gonna keep this AUG more than likely, as Street just wants to hold on to this AUG, but actually he's gonna be taking the initiative and pushing. This is somewhat surprising.
Yeah, you expect him just to want to hold on to this for sure. Now we'll just hold a long A corner. So yeah, I mean, Lucid Dream are taking little stabs at Liquid here and there, but Liquid always recovers really fast. They're not allowing Lucid Dream to get a shocker round and get momentum off of it and shrieks them together. They're quick to close it right back out. So it's exactly what Liquid need to be doing at this stage. You know, Liquid need to be showing us that they're coming into this game smooth and efficient, not having any problems. These are the easy games for Liquid, or at least they should be.
Absolutely. Coming into this, they couldn't have hoped for a more favorable matchup. And there's no disrespect to Lucid Dream, but there's no doubt that Liquid are the firm favorites.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no other nice way to put that.
I just gotta be honest. And Lucid Dream will know it too. They can kind of play with an air of freedom, that there's not too much pressure or expectation stacked on them, where the complete reverse is the case for Liquid. If they lost this match, it would turn many heads, especially on Dust2. This would be certainly newsworthy in the CS scene. Decent work by CBBK's P250, but that is all they're going to get out of this round. And Liquid will steamroll to a 5-2 lead, but we are going to have another bye coming up.
It's also worth noting that the way this tournament format works, you have 2 groups of 8, and it's a double elimination bracket. So if you lose this opening best of 1, you're right into the lower bracket, and it's way harder. Because essentially, if you stay in the upper bracket, just if you just make the finals of the upper bracket, you automatically go to the quarterfinals at the very least. Whereas only 1 team comes to the lower bracket. So this best of 1 is very important.
Long presence being controlled from Lucid Dream. Smoking out on the doors is actually going to give Liquid food for thought. They're going to pull back. They were sort of on the razor's edge of potentially aggressing out of long, but now they're going to be taking the bomb towards mid instead. Just leaving NAF here watching with his SG. And Lucid Dream starting to make a 3rd player move over on A. This is giving up sort of B presence, but it looks like it could be the correct call for the time being.
Yeah, this time you got Twist playing lower B tunnel, so they're changing it up a lot. They want to get Nitro's AK forward, I suppose, trying to create that space for some of the star players, such as Elige, which is pretty typical. Though Nitro's also a great fragging in-game leader in his own right, similar to Glaive. He definitely can pack a punch. And as we do see Team Liquid starting to gather up over towards the catwalk here. They are a team that can definitely put smokes down and drop into CT spawn, add that third round up the slope, create harder angles for Lucid Dream to deal with, and Stewie2K's already created that opening with the AWP. Well, they're not committing, they're actually backing off and looking for a mid-B split, perhaps.
That's a huge pick. As soon as Stewie gets that kill, they instantly pivot off it, and they catch Lucid Dream in transition across mid. One pick, and it was so free as well. There was no flashbang preceding it. Kind of a time peek to try and look for information. Definitely not worth the cost. Nitro finds QQ guard, and Stewie strikes again with the AWP, as he said. He will pick it up on this map. And now Genius doesn't really have too many options. He just has to save, and Lucid Dream are going to watch another rifle round go by. Wish they'd maybe made a couple of different decisions. Peeking mids, getting caught out in the open, not fantastic. How does Stewie get that kill to Genius? He should have had him dead to rights. He's jumping around the corner. Oh dear.
Oh dear indeed. Same with PTC, 007, not the time you want to be doing your best James Bond impression, especially since PTC typically is the most consistent performer on this team and other, regional play that he's been involved in. He was, again, the one guy that kind of went off to a slight international team amongst Asian countries with 5 power. He was definitely, as an opper, one of the guys that looked the best from Thailand, but he has not had a good start either. Now just Eagles for Lucid Dream, so that'd be an awful round for Lucid to consider. Nitro picks up a couple of here towards the B tunnels, or at least one, and chipping away at TBBK.
Molotov in, bounces awkwardly, but Twists already claims the life of QQ God. Genius, the position you expect to see. AWP is in, and Stewie in first with the AWP. Had a nade out, does get punished, but the rest of his team are there to return fire instantly. So PTC and CBBK got a couple pistols to play with. They know they've got a good buy on the horizon with Max Ramos bonus around the corner. But Liquid, this is more the ruthless Liquid that we're expecting to see. They had a couple of early hiccups, but now it seems like they're finding their form. They're finding their...
Yeah, it does seem to be the case, doesn't it? The expectation. Again, I think of this game, since it is seemingly going to be a stop against Lucid Dream unless we see something from them soon, at least we're learning about Liquid, right? We're learning about some of the adjustments they're making on their T side. Stewie becoming the more prominent opper. Things of that nature are coming into play. So it's nice to get a look at them. Yeah.
It landed a pretty tasty 1D, which actually dropped the bomb out. I thought for a moment maybe there was a way in. That was actually his first kill. Yeah, so he's off the. He's got that hump off his back at least. But there is now 2 AWPs in play, and Lucid Dream really have to make one of these buys stick.
Yeah, you can tell if they're going for the Hail Mary now. Double AWP stuff, a heavy economic investment, especially given the fact that they're just relying on max loss bonus. Need to make it work, and
Oh man.
See you later.
It's not the first time it's happened either. Especially when you finally got a buy. Like, why are you going for those peaks? You need to get these AWPs in solid positions. Maybe showing Liquid too much respect. Trying to play these gimmicky sort of peaks to try and catch Liquid off guard. But they're not going to make these kind of errors, Liquid. They are here, they are waiting, they're hoping, anticipating for these peaks.
And Elige is one of the most deadly SIG players in the game. Very comfortable with that. QQ God, though, getting aggressive off catwalk, does get one back and starting to try to equalize it. Genius will help it along as well. Now actually the advantage going the way of Lucid Dream. So this might be something. They have a 4-on-2. They should really be closing this out. Bomb is down towards lower tunnels. It means someone has to cross mid to go grab it, which is going to give Genius a chance to find another frag, perhaps.
That's certainly it, isn't it? This should be Lucid Dream's round, but there are still NAF and Twists on the server, and Twists perforating the double doors, takes out Genius. The downside now, though, is that CBBK is making a move in tunnels, would have heard those footsteps. They're not going to see each other. QQ God, who is the last line of defense on A, very low on 19 HP. Fortunate that the Molotov was designated for Goose and not the site, otherwise he would certainly be a goner. But CBBK is making this chance, this roll of the dice to get round the back of Liquid. QQ God surviving somehow on 1 HP and wasting enough time for CBBK to get into position, and they have converted. But my goodness, that looked incredibly close.
Yeah, there was really just CBK being the checkmate was kind of what helped that along. Otherwise, Liquid may have very well overwhelmed A and had a shot there. So big on him to be able to flank the lower B tunnels that quickly. Also, after they lost the initial engagement, they did quite well after that. So that's definitely a good sign. Hopefully they can keep that going. They've actually retained the double AWP. They will recycle that over. I also have the money low on several Liquid players, so if they could somehow pull this off, Liquid may be forced to save next round. That's where Liquid could kind of, or Lucid rather, could kind of start closing the gap.
Yeah, there definitely is a way back in, isn't there? I mean, sure, 3-7 does look a... But if they can just put a couple rounds together, get that confidence built, maybe that's the way back in. PTC gonna double up on kills, lands his second with the AWP. Down to 35, but will live to fight another. And Liquid going back to that tried, true, and tested catwalk push. Smoke's gonna come over first, gonna be accompanied by flashbangs. And with all players stacked here, they are gonna be pincering off this. They can't afford to make a move back. Here come the flashbangs now over the top, and the engage does begin. QQ God's gonna wait for the FG, perfectly timed counter flash in the eyes of Naf, and he's gonna get two at range, both headshots. Looking much better for Lucid Dream in this round. Could be flawless, could be a clean sweep, unless Twists takes a couple of lives with him. He's been winged, he's been finished off. Much better from the Thailand team.
Indeed it was. Liquid, just their utility not really having much of an impact on that round, so they're able just to kind of sit on the A ramp and dish out frags on the cat cross. Liquid unable to really get any entries, get any trading going. Again, the utility not really coming into fruition. Actually still able to muster up a buy this round, though. We have the AWP actually going to Nitro's hands for this 3-2K, so it's back in kind of the traditional hands. Long A control being attempted here, but it's just kind of Twist out there on his own, and QQ got actually spammed in the smoke, catches a leash.
Flashbangs landing in the eyes of all the players, though. You can see that Naf holding his face for so long, caught in the animation. And Lucid Dream putting boots to asses, pushing them back. Stewie 2K and Nitro all that remain. They do have control of the bomb, at the very least, but everything else is mounted against them. And all of that confrontation kicking off in the first 15-20 seconds means that there's still so much time for Lucid Dream to choke out.
Yeah, again, it's just one of those long A skirmishes that can sometimes happen when both teams have good spawns and they want to challenge it directly. So you get these little 3-on-3 battles, and Lucid just come out on top of it big time. They don't lose a single player on that exchange. So now Liquid just have to poke and prod with their two remaining players, trying to do a little bit of mid-B action here, try to get a pick on someone, but no one showing themselves to give Liquid that opportunity. GDS will pop flash through with smoke, though, and look for a challenge here in middle. Somehow, neither one spots each other, and it kind of becomes a stalemate.
PTC with the derpiest nade that you'll probably see today. Just tosses it against A bomb for no reason. Fair enough, 35 seconds to go. PTC now is going to be called upon. Nice flick across the Stewie 2K. After such a rough start from PTC, it's good to see him with the AWP connecting shots. And there we go. It's another clean sweep round. So that's 2 in a row, 3 on the bounce for Lucid Dream overall. And now the funds of Liquid starting to deplete somewhat. 3-4 plays on $2,000. This is Lucid Dream's way back in. They are making this work.
Yeah, indeed they are. Liquid is just going to be getting Eagles. That's going to be it. A little bit of utility on Nitro if he had the highest dollar amount on the team. They will be able to full buy next round, sure, but this round going to be very difficult for them to find much. This is where, as you said, Lucid Dream can really close the gap, maybe start working towards a tie game, which would be incredible given the odds stacked against them in this matchup. Liquid just streaming across catwalk and being knocked down as soon as they come around. Every single headshot connected instantaneously from Liquid. No hope for Liquid. Absolute shut case.
That's pretty sick. I mean, it did run into his crosshair, but you can only beat what's ahead of you, and he did that in style. He's 16-7 right now. His ADR 121. The guy is flying.
Yeah, he's done really, really well here, especially picking up some of the slacks as PTC hasn't really gotten engaged yet, who is kind of normally their big breadwinner. Here we go. Liquid back onto money. Long A challenge again.
Smokes and flashes being exchanged, not for the first time, but it's going to be Lucid Dream again coming out ahead. Liquid are being dealt with so comprehensively. They're going to line up, though, and Legion Nitro will put them 6 foot under. They're be able to retrieve the bomb tree outside of long doors on the T side. But because they stalled a little bit behind these smokes, PTC can move into position with his AWP. At range, a couple of flashbangs being exchanged, but they have a second AWP alongside it.
Indeed they do. They're trying to shuffle this bomb across the B, and Unleash catches a huge kill in middle on CBBK. That gets them the man advantage now, and Lucid Dreams are starting to really suffer the consequences of continuing to challenge long. After they had the first 2 kills, they should have backed off. They kept challenging, and they gave Liquid a way back into this round, and now it's gotten worse with that pick from Unleash. Remaining Liquid members now looking to re-challenge long A with the man advantage. Smokes for the cross, Molotovs for the site. It'll be up to these 2 AWPs to try to put a stop to this, because retaking's not really in the cards with Ops.
Certainly not. They need a kill on the cross, otherwise this is done. And, well, Unleash has pierced the head of PTC, and Nitro will do very much the same to Wanna Fly. So that winning streak has come to an abrupt end. The Lucid Dream at least have given themselves enough to build off, regardless of what happens in this next round. It was looking so bad at 2 seconds.
The timing was unreal, by the way. Like, as soon as you said they need these kills on the cross, and did.
Yeah, kind of ran with his... I think he was running with, like, his face to the wall, didn't want to get flashbanged. Oh, PTC with 2 and a 3rd as well! Taking over the round and putting it in the pocket of Lucid Dream. But Nitro is at least going to contend and make this an interesting affair. CBBK close range with the M4 is able to get the headshot. Bomb goes sprawling out towards CT spawn. And with Stewie on 11 HP, the round's done. PTC, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, indeed, man. 8-7, as close as it gets, and some of these rounds have been in the blink of an eye, and so will this commercial break. We'll be back in just a second.
And we are back live once again, ladies and gents. Lucid Dream have mounted the comeback. They were 2-7 behind. It was looking awful. It was going the way of the stomp like we anticipated, but then they brought it back with some kind of craziness. You had QQ God going off, PTC at the end waking up, and 8-7 is the score.
Yeah, dude, they won 5 of the last 6 rounds, and in 3 out of the 5 rounds, they didn't lose a single player. They dominated the tail end of that first half, so that gives me some hope that Lucid Dream are going to put up a fight here. As we do get live into the pistol, this will definitely kind of control who gets that great start and maybe pulls out slightly ahead to kick off the second half. Liquid needs this round, you feel like, just for confidence's sake. They cannot be affording to lose this best of 1. Again, you lose this, you go to the lower bracket. And that's a very unforgiving path to take in this tournament.
Certainly turning up the difficulty considerably, especially considering how stacked some of the teams are in this tournament. Do not want to be dropping down there. We have the likes of Nip versus Tai Lu later on. Stewie 2K, though, going to see if Liquid can at least win the second pistol round after conceding the first. And QQ God narrowly survives death, but only long enough for Unleash to find him from the side and deal with him. Nitro's doing so much damage on the cross. Look how low Lucid Dream are. PTC finished off, and here comes Twist with a second and a spin around, but CBBK deals with him. His position is now compromised, and there are a flurry of CTs moving towards his position. The question really is, who will put the final nail in the coffin from Liquid? Really nothing CBBK can do here, does. But he doesn't even have control of the bomb.
Yeah, he's done.
And he's getting flanked. Rest in peace.
He's been dealt with. Definitely a great way to kick things off for your team. Liquid, though, you had a really shaky end of the first half as the heavy favorite, but able to come out with a pretty dominant pistol there. Aug's already out for Naf and Elige. It's also worth noting that later on, Naf is actually usually the primary AWP on this map on the CT side, which is, again, just kind of crazy how Liquid kind of plays musical chairs with that gun. And Nitro's more of the secondary op as a B rotator, so be on the lookout for that. But right now, it's going to be MP9s and a couple of rifles against a fully glocked out Lucid Dream. They are full saving here.
Yeah, they like to go for this strat as well on the CT side when their economy was low, and into the blender they go, and that fly. He's going to get a quad spray with the AUG. Round over in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, again, just looking to full buy a little bit earlier, so there is the AKs. No AWP for PTC. And we are going to see, typically, Genius and CBBK are going to be kind of the entry deal. QQ God and Wanna Fly, usually more playing the edges of the map, so be on the lookout for that. Definitely a team that is, you know, perfectly capable of just playing default, understanding the meta of the map. One of the things Asian teams were faulted for in the past was the reliance on just, like, really fast executes, but I feel like over time they've really settled into the meta. So you're going to see a lot of typical stuff from Lucid Dream. Nothing too wacky.
You think that maybe wacky is what they require to take down a Titan like Liquid. Their timing on that spray from Street 2K could not have been any better. They say he's a smoke criminal. Saying why firsthand. Normally he's pushing through it, but he'll push bullets through there as well, no problems. Second smoke going to be deployed just to fend them off for longer, and Lucid Dream going to try and rummage together a play through mid. They need to smoke it first. Not exactly the smoke I was anticipating. I thought they might toss it into CT side.
Yeah, this is so they can challenge through CT spawn, or at least sometimes that's what they're doing, but they actually smoke both sides. And they're just kind of sitting here hoping that Liquid might face them from window or B doors, but it's not going to be the case. Liquid not giving them anything, just holding the more passive angles. Gives some space to Lucid Dream, but eventually they have to break out. Looks like they might be trying to get a little bit of late long A control here with Wanna-Fly and CVVK, and maybe split up Catwalk and Long simultaneously, but there's 3 defenders still here for Liquid. Gonna be hard to break that open.
Yeah, and throwing in that flashbang just into double doors gives their position away, and with 30 seconds left, now Liquid know it's gonna be an A hit. That's definitely short-sighted on Lucid Dream's side of things. They're gonna have a second player in ramp, and it's just a massacre. Left, right, and center. Liquid get the upper hand, 11-7.
Yeah, that was a nice little bait and switch. All the focus was on Elige at A ramp, and Twist just stayed hidden in pit for so very long that it got to a point where Lucid Dream didn't even anticipate a player being there. So a really easy little crossfire from Liquid gets them around, and now it's just going to be the Eagles for Lucid Dream. 1 smoke grenade. This is where Liquid can start steaming out in front.
Showing that ruthlessness, you expect to see a team like Liquid really convert from this point. I mean, yeah, Desert Eagles definitely going to be a threat and a nuisance, but I guess the fully equipped Liquid, surely not. Street 2K, aggressive. Going to be joined by Elige and Nafly on the kill feed. QQ God at least going to lay 1 Liquid player down to rest, but that's where his kill streak will come to an end, and PTC up on long, living on borrowed time. Doesn't have control of bombs, just been spotted by Nafly. This round's over, Dust. Liquid gonna have a commanding lead now. This next rifle round's gonna mean so much to the Thailand team.
Could say the round's done and dusted.
You could, and it has just gone that way.
And now you owe me money. Copyright, of course.
You said it!
Now mine.
How do I pay you money for what you said?
I'm not sure. Money, please.
Reasonable.
Someone will get that reference. So here we go into the wild blue yonder of the first rifle round. This is where Lucid Dream need to get their work done. PTC is going to be on the AWP. Again, pretty default opening. Lucid Dream, very standard team, I would say. At times, they can get really aggressive solo on the extremities, which can cause them some problems. But other than that, you get what you expect.
Maybe again where the fairly standard Counter-Strike may bite Lucid Dream in the backside. If it's standard, but it's not up to the task of the top teams like Liquid, they are going to run into a brick wall. Maybe this is a time where they should bring out something a bit more chaotic, Dust, to try and catch Liquid off guard.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, on the opposite side, a lot of the ways they won rounds was kind of just being wild on some of the extremity choke points, so could be on to something there. They're in for a real trouble, though. This is a nice little trap play that Naf and Elige have on Catwalk. A bait and switch is going to be coming to effect here, and it could be nasty. But if they get the entries, A's wide open, because Twist is tucked in the pit.
As a flashbang into the peak, and Elige going to get 2. A player hiding behind the alcove, which I think was PTC. Able to bait him long enough for at least to get an avenging kill, but now with all 3 clumped up together, they've got to make something work off this. You can't be playing passively. You can't be going back. But they are. There's only got 30 seconds left. And they're coming into mid, and Street 2K's will be waiting for them, but he whiffs his spray coming off the site at the worst possible moment. But there's Twist and Naf to deal the fatal blows to 2 players pushing mid. The bomb's also on the wrong side as far as QQ God's concerned, and it's going to go very much the same way with Liquid taking the round.
Yeah, they were missing a smoke on CT spawn there. If they could have gotten a smoke on CT, they actually had B wide open because there was a big tunnels push from Nitro, actually. So that was a vulnerability, but could not expose it. And here's what I'm talking about. Naf, the primary operator for the CT side of Team Liquid over towards the A side. As Nitro and Sui play B together, Nitro may not even need to get a second out before this game's over, but we'll see if that comes into effect later. As Lucid Dream, all their forces pretty much gathered in B tunnel, so they are changing things up a little bit, maybe looking for something a bit faster paced, but as I say that, they're just kind of shuffling through lower back into more standard mid play. That's not it, Chief.
That definitely is not it at all, is it? That is a horrendous Molotov that does more harm than good. They wanted to get on the other side of the door to try and clear these angles. And now they have no more mollies left, so they're going to have to dry peek. That's incredibly ballsy. CBK goes through first with just his knife out, but here comes a leash from the backside. Forever the flanker. CBK will catch him in a second. What a strange round this is turning into. Pure carnage. And QQ God, the last man standing, will be the next player to fall and the last player to fall for Lucid Dream. 14-7 now to the NAT.
Man, it's starting to look like Liquid are putting the finishing touches on this game. They are way out in front now. Lucid Dream has not shown us really much of anything this half. Liquid has won every single round, and in the bulk of these rounds, they survive with 4 or more members. It's only been the last couple of rounds they've suffered some real casualties. Lucid Dream buying down to what they can. DBBK had the better long A spawn, tries to go for the op pick, but denied any action. Will be passed back over to PTC, but they have very little utility, and WNF is reliant on a MAC-10. Now pass over to CBBK, and everyone in Liquid has head armor, so that's going to probably not have much impact.
You wouldn't think so. That grenade has damage written all over it. Chunks wanna fly. CBBK decides to peek, but the flashbang hadn't detonated early enough. So just hold down the left click, and first blood goes the way of Team Liquid. A lead with the spray transfer. The control on point. Genius and QQ God both get switched off. Twist sees the barrel of the gun, retooning around the corner. Still goes down to the hands of PTC. But on 6 HP and with his position known and the bomb under control from Liquid, good luck to you, sir.
Yeah, this is map point for Team Liquid. No real chance for PTC to do much here. That's a little wild jump peek going on at long A. Not necessary, of course, as PTC's kind of tucked into a corner. Tail between his legs. Gets massacred in the tunnels. And Elige has really been the thorn in Lucid Dream's side. He has been so assertive up catwalk into the mid area. And the thing is, when Lucid Dream aren't playing default, their other favorite thing to do is these little split push techniques, you know, where they push long and mid together at the same time with 2 each side or something like that. And Liquid's aggression is just picking off one side of that. Elige is constantly winning these 1-on-2 battles.
I've got to question these MAC-10 purchases. You must know that Liquid have full head armor. Surely you want to go with a Desert Eagle, a CZ, a P250 instead. Yeah. It just isn't working at all with CBBK, and the damage being inflicted, they're starting to get shocked. Chewy2K showing no respect to no remorse. He's just going to go straight in for kills. He wants to stab that pad as much as possible. Another headshot connects, nade in. QQ God out. And only 2 players remain, and it's going to be Wannafly. He has at least made a move through long, but it's a 1v5, Dust. This game is done, and it's Twist that puts the final bullet to face. Good win by Liquid. It didn't start particularly well, but their CT side was absolutely flawless.
Yeah, not only flawless and no rounds lost, but so many rounds where they survived with 4 or more members. It was a pretty easy second half for Team Liquid. Again, a little bit of trouble there towards the end of the first half. You saw a little bit of something from Lucid, but other than that, it was just a cakewalk for Team Liquid. So that's going to do it for our opening game here on the secondary stream. Liquid will move on to the upper bracket round 2. They'll be playing the winner of Vitality and North, which is going on the main stream, which I think Vitality has a slight lead in that game. It's still going on Overpass if you want to check that out. We're going to have a brief break. When we come back, we're going to have NIP taking on Tyloo. Also, we are going to have to restart the stream to solve a couple of issues really fast. Just want to let you know that. So do not freak out. No T-Tours, no panic, whatever emotes you come up with. Just, it's all fine. This is Vince and Dust. We'll be back in just a moment after we restart the stream. And when we come back, we'll have NIP and Tyloo coming up shortly.